Okay, welcome to how to get back to exercise during and post-pandemic. I am so excited about this topic because this topic is something that, trust me, we need to talk about. We need to talk about why and how to keep moving in this season of our lives, and it's been a crazy last couple of years for so many of us. And so we're going to talk about all about that today. So this week, as I kind of, repurpose some of my content and, share with you some of the past podcast episodes that I've done, we're talking about movement. So everything has been shaped around movement. And I shared with you all episode 57 of the More Than Your Weight podcast called 5 Steps to Move More. And that's just a really great, there's many exercise episodes on the podcast, but that's a really great one to kind of help you just get in the frame of mind that movement does not have to be complicated. And so maybe you're at the stage, okay, during post-pandemic, whatever, just maybe you're at the stage where you're like, you don't think you can have a quote unquote exercise routine. Well, sweet friend, that's okay. Maybe you need to focus on movement, which I think even if we have an exercise routine, we still need to be moving more throughout the day. I got a watch last year for my birthday, a Garmin watch, which is just such a nice look at that white gold watch that tracks my steps, because I knew that my exercise and movement routine was going to look a little bit different during pandemic, but also having a little baby girl. And so I just wanted to see what my daily movement was like. And it sets a goal for you, a moving target, and based on if you reach your step goal. And don't get me wrong, I'm not doing some crazy steps, but it's just helpful to know how much I'm moving throughout the day. And so again, maybe you're at the stage where you just need to move more. And if so, I think you definitely should check out that episode 57, 5 Steps to Move More, and then the free guide that's in my resource library to go with it. Okay. If you go to madewell345.com/resource library, that's like resources in all of different healthy habit areas, but it does have the 5 Step to Move More guide, which is kind of just question based to really help you just take stock where you're at and figure out ways you can move more in your everyday life. And then maybe after that, you kind of can come back to this. I think you should do both, but come back to this and just say, okay, how can I incorporate more regular, not movement, but also intentional exercise and movement into my daily life? Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is really, I think there are 3 ways to help you get back to exercise during and post-pandemic. 1, identify why you want to exercise. Like, that's important. And you probably hear people talking about this all the time. What is your why? What is your why? What is your why? And that's important because your why is what helps with motivation. It helps with perseverance. It helps with so many things when you just don't have it within you to keep going, or you just don't want to, right? So understanding your why for wanting to move or exercise is important. Then I think what's important is understanding what's holding you back from exercise. What are the roadblocks that are holding you back? I'm going to talk about 10 different roadblocks. I'm not going to go into too much detail into all of them, but 10 different roadblocks. And then identify what's your next best step to move forward in your exercise. Okay, so those are the 3 steps, and we're going to cover those. Okay, again, it's why you want to identify why you want to exercise, 2, identify what's holding you back, and 3, identify your best next step. There could be many next steps, but we want to figure out what's your best one. All right, so let's just be honest. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of my story before we get going. The pandemic has changed things for a lot of us, right? It has changed our relationships in just how we see each other. It's changed our work environment. It's changed how we interact in community engagement and in community events. It's changed our access to certain things. It's definitely allowed us to go a lot more virtual in a lot of ways. But one of the main ways I think it's really shifted things for us in our health is through exercise. Many of us use outdoors or use gyms to get in daily exercise or weekly exercise or whatever. And obviously, right when the pandemic hit last March, many of us could not do that. So we had to figure out either how to do it at home, within our home, or around our house, or just be creative. In some ways, we just didn't, because we didn't know what to do, or because there was a lot of other things going on. And so some of you may, like, let's just be honest, different parts of the world are experiencing the pandemic differently now. You have a lot of places where they're opening up, a lot of vaccinations, and gyms are opening up. And so maybe you're able to go back to normal, go back to your gym or go back to all of these things. Maybe you don't have as many roadblocks. Well, access is one roadblock. There's tons of other ones, but maybe you are still at home, right? Maybe you're still at home and you're just trying to figure out, like, or maybe you prefer being at home and prefer doing exercises at home or movement at home. So you just want to figure out how best to do it with wherever you're at during and post-pandemic. I say post-pandemic because we're still in it, but some people are post in the sense like they're not as locked down as some other people, and some people still are. So it's really, my heart with this particular training is to really help you figure out where you're at right now, how to get in some intentional exercise. Okay, so personally, when the pandemic hit last March, I was probably 6-7 months pregnant, towards the end of my pregnancy. And I at that time, I went to a CrossFit gym. I'd been doing CrossFit for years, CrossFit level 1 trainer, and just really I really enjoy and really thrive at creating and doing a workout routine that is multidimensional, includes different types of modalities, includes different types of exercises, challenges different metabolic pathways, and all these different things. And CrossFit is one of the things that does that for me. And so when the pandemic hit and we were locked down, I had been moving throughout my pregnancy in, the first trimester, let's just be honest, it was rough, but I did my best to keep movement in whatever ways I can, because I know that would make me mentally, emotionally, and physically feel better. And so I wanted to keep moving even to the end of my pregnancy, even though I had to scale back a lot of things. And so I was introduced to Street Parking, which is an online, virtual, almost kind of like CrossFit community. And my husband and I were able to borrow some equipment from our gym when it was still closed and do that programming or follow our gym's programming. And I really loved this particular programming because it had a lot of support for women in pregnancy and postpartum. I had never been pregnant before, and I definitely had never been postpartum before. So I wanted to not only do something that I loved or enjoyed, but also have coaches and experts to really help me where I was particularly at, to do it well, to do it safely, and so forth. And so since last March to now, July 1, July 1, I have been doing this. And even after I had my daughter, obviously for a period of time, I could only do some light walking around, obviously had to heal and all that. But because this program was so amazing, there was a lot of postpartum programs and exercise and support. So I was able to slowly build back core strength, rehab my core, rehab my pelvic floor, and build back strength in other places until, was it 2 days ago, Tuesday, I was able to do a workout here as I'm in quarantine right now because I'm visiting home. I was able to do regular push-ups again, which, trust me, was not able to do a year ago because my core had guess what? Your abs are separated when you're pregnant and all that. So that was obviously, it takes strength in your arms, but it takes a lot of strength in your core as well. And it just really showed me how doing those little, not little, but just being consistent with my exercise routine over the last year, in particular, exercising at home, not like we're doing micro workouts. We're not doing long workouts because I had to fit it in, and I have to fit it in during nap time or when someone can watch her for a bit. And it just showed me how being consistent really led to strength, really led to, I don't want to say pre-baby body. My body is different and I accept my body how it is. I'm not going to try to be pre-baby body, right? But in many ways, getting the strength, the energy, and somewhat the physique I had before. All right. And so that is what I have chosen to do. Right. And obviously, I've still worked out outside. I've still gone to the gym every now and then, but just with the season of life that I'm in, having some simple equipment at home and simple exercises that are challenging has really allowed me to be consistent in my exercise routine. And I think that is the main thing that I really support clients around when it comes to exercise versus like, yes, there's different types. And again, I am a CrossFit level 1 trainer. There's different stuff around strength training, around endurance, around agility, around flexibility, all of that sort of stuff. But the main thing I know that everyone needs to start with is consistency. Okay, so that is the name of the game. So if you feel like you have not been consistently moving or consistently exercising in this current season of your life, this is for you, because we're going to dive deep into what's holding you back from doing that, how you can move forward. Okay, so the first thing, as we were talking about, is identifying why you want to exercise. And, you know, I think we all know that exercise is important. We all know that we should do it more, and we all know that it's good for us. But do you know exactly why? Maybe you know that it helps your heart. Maybe you know it strengthens your muscle as you want to have strong bones or all that as you approach menopause or in any season of life. You know, it helps release stress. I just wanted to cover some benefits of exercise so that I think as you listen to them, you can really pick one or two that is your reason to want to do exercise. And maybe it's multiple, but this is going to help you when you don't feel like it or you feel like there are too many roadblocks. You know, I'm in quarantine at the current moment. It's day 8. I've worked out 7 times. Probably take today as a rest day, but I'm probably going to do some stretching or flexibility work and some active recovery. It's still a workout, but it's not like the same types of workouts. Anyways, but the reason why that has, and I have a treadmill and body weight. That's all I have. But because I kind of know the types of things I need to be doing to challenge my body in the way that I want, and I've done so many workouts, I've trained this, I've trained others, I'm able to still be consistent even in quarantine. And also the benefit of this for me is that I'm not seeing as many people. I'm seeing my sister and my baby, but it helps me mentally or emotionally. It's some me time, right? Helps me feel energetic, helps me feel good. And so knowing that benefit is what's going to keep me going in quarantine, all right? And so you figuring out what the benefit or what your why is also important. So here are just some benefits of exercise that studies have shown that even if you get, 30 minutes of exercise or physical activity can be really helpful to your body. So it builds and strengthens your muscles and lymphatic system. And obviously you guys know the importance of building muscle. It helps strengthen your bones. It helps just you be able to handle everyday movements in life. But your lymphatic system is also in charge of getting rid of the toxins, waste, and unwanted materials. So working out helps strengthen both of those. Okay. It stimulates brain cell growth. I mean, our cells we get new cells go away. Like we just need good, healthy cells. And so exercise stimulates that. Weight bearing exercises, even your body weight, such as walking, running, or strength building with body weight or with other weights can protect your bone health when done right. It keeps you young. Workouts such as brisk walking or cycling, it gives you that boost of oxygen and increases your aerobic capacity. And increasing your aerobic capacity, even by 15 to 25%, can shave off 10 to 20 years of your age, right? And so it also helps you be flexible, limber, and strong. And so if you feel like you want to keep young, keep agile, exercise is the way to do it. Reduces infections. Moderate workouts temporarily rev up your immune system by increasing the aggressiveness or capacity of immune cells. This explains why people who exercise have fewer colds. It can prevent heart attacks. Not only does exercise raise your good HDL, I think it's high density lipocholesterol. I think that's what that stands for, and lower blood pressure, but it also shows it can reduce arterial inflammation, which is another risk factor for heart attacks and strokes. Can ease asthma. New evidence has shown that upper body and breathing exercises can reduce the need to use an inhaler in mild cases of asthma. Okay, but of course you want to check with your doctor on that. Control blood sugar. Exercise helps maintain a healthy blood sugar level by increasing the cell sensitivity to insulin and by controlling weight. Regular brisk walking can significantly cut the risk of developing type 2 diabetes even. Can protect against cancer. Exercise may reduce the risk of certain cancers like colon cancer by speeding waste through the gut and lowering your insulin level. May also protect against breast and prostate cancer by regulating your hormone levels. And of course, combat stress. Regular aerobic exercise in particular lowers levels of cortisol or other stress hormones. For many people, exercise helps relieve depression as effectively as antidepressant medication. But again, nothing is wrong with antidepressant medication, and obviously see your doctor, but exercise is a great way to help with that and partner with that. Relieve hot flashes. So increasing fitness by walking or practicing yoga enhances the mood and reduces some menopausal or perimenopausal symptoms such as hot flashes and night sweats. It can prolong life. Studies lasting many years have consistently shown that being active cuts the risk of premature death by 50% for both men and women, and build relationships. And this goes back to such as if you are in a group class, or even, my goodness, there's even a lot of online, you work out with people online, your friends online. It could just really help build relationship. It builds something called social cohesion, which is defined as the willingness of members of a society to cooperate with each other in order to survive and prosper. Basically, you're doing it together. You're supporting each other to survive the workout. All right, so that's a lot of different benefits, but really just think about one of those. Like, what's your why? Is it, again, it could be as I just want to look young, feel good, play with my grandkids, play with my children, be able to do what I feel called to in life. Or it could be you want to build and strengthen your muscles and lymphatic system, stimulate your brain cell growth, keep you young, give your bones some strength, reduce infections, prevent heart attacks, ease asthma, control blood sugar, protect against cancer, combat stress, relieve hot flashes, prolong life, and build relationships. What is your why? And I would suggest you pick 1 or 2 or 3 of those benefits to really help you continue to be motivated as you go along the way. Okay. Now, okay, you say, all right, Brianna, I've identified my why, and this is what the benefits, and this is why I want to exercise. And again, feel free to let me know in the comments or in the Facebook group or wherever you're watching this or listening to this, what is your why for exercise? But there are many roadblocks, and I'm going to talk about some of those roadblocks and then some of the solutions. So this is kind of number 2 and 3. What are your, what's holding you back, and what's your next best step? The roadblocks consist of cost, getting started, time, putting others' needs above your own, feeling too self-conscious, fear of not being able to stick with it, not knowing what exercises to do or access to equipment, motivation, feeling too tired, or previous injury and safe modifications. Okay, I'm going to repeat those, and I really want to encourage you as I share those. Again, let me know what's your 1 to 2 or 3 roadblocks. Pick your top one, actually, because that's overcome that one. And then what solution as we go through that you're going to move forward with. Cost, getting started, time, putting other needs above your own, feeling too self-conscious, fear of not being able to stick with it, not knowing what exercises to do or access to equipment, motivation, feeling tired, and previous injuries, or you're just not sure how to do it safely. So I'm going to address those. So let's just talk about time first. This is one of the main roadblocks. The problem, or the thought process you might have, is I don't have enough time to exercise. And in a world, especially in the Western society, where one of the values is productivity and getting things done, we are constantly filling our lives, our schedules with things to do. And often, it's because this is connected to the rest of those. Like, we're not putting ourselves in that. We're not putting even 5 to 10 minutes of movement in there. And I think the best way to actually address this is to what I was talking about in this week's podcast feature, as well as at the beginning, is to just figure out ways to move more in your everyday life, as well as start with 5 to 10 minutes of an exercise a day. Okay. And this can be done in multiple ways. And I would love to help you figure that out. If you choose to kind of like jump on a call with me and figure out how I could support you here. But I really think the thing here is, grab that 5 steps to move more guide, but taking stock of like, how much am I actually moving throughout the day? And are there simple ways I can move more? And then where's 5 to 10 minutes in my day that I can do some jumping jacks, put on the song and dance, clean, walk around the office, walk up the stairs, whatever it is. All right. So addressing the roadblock of time, the solution for that is to just start figuring out ways to move more, but also where can you fit in 5 to 10 minutes? Okay. So that's time. Now let's talk about motivation. Maybe you feel like I'd like to do it, but I can't get going, or when I'm started, I can't stick with it. So it's easy for us to stick. Let's be honest. It's easy for us to stick with something in the first 3 days or the first few weeks while it's fresh or new. But when after a while it gets kind of boring and it's kind of routine and we put it to side. You know, well, I got to say some tough love here is sometimes you have to do things when you don't feel like it. And 2, sometimes you need to make things a priority. And 3, sometimes you just need to add some variety. Like I think sometimes we kind of do the same workout all the time, or same thing. Just add some variety, spice it up for your mind, but also for your body. Your body thrives on variety. That's something I love to help clients figure out too. Like, let's be consistent. Let's add some variety as well. Okay. So if motivation is something for you, I really challenge you. How can you start to prioritize it? How can you put it in your schedule? Do it when you don't feel like it, but also how can you spice it up? Okay. Let me know if that is something you feel like you struggle with. Tired. So maybe you feel like you're too tired in the morning, too tired at the end of the day to exercise. Now, this struggle is really real. Like I understand this, having a 1-year-old who doesn't sleep regularly yet, and just running my own business in my spare time, all the other things. And so I have started to prioritize. Like, I just know that I'm not going to work out in the morning. I don't want to. I've never wanted to. I think when I started, no, I think I used to at some point, but I just don't enjoy it anymore. I would rather do some mindset work, some prayer, some journaling. I would rather do other things in the morning. But I really like it in the mid-afternoon. In my normal schedule, I really like it in the mid-afternoon to break up my day. To be like, okay, I've done my work, I've done things, and now I'm going to take some time. And then after that is preparing dinner, is hanging out with family, is getting ready for bed, is all of that. So I love to place it where it helps break up my day. And so am I tired at those moments? Yes. But I think what I've tried to do is, as long as I'm making sure I'm getting adequate sleep throughout the night, I'm eating nutritiously, and it's giving me the energy I need, I can do it. I can push through. And let me tell you something, when it comes to exercise, honestly, you're so tired, but once you do it, you start doing it, you won't feel tired. So you just got to tell yourself that. Now, are there days where you might be really tired and really exhausted and you need to rest? Yes. Like today is one of those days for me. I'm just not feeling quite my best. And just because of my daughter is teething, and so she's not sleeping well. So I'm just like, I've worked out twice this week, and I'm going to probably work out 2 or 3 more times, but I might take today off from my regular intense exercise, and maybe my exercise for today might just be walking on the treadmill for a little bit. No, like trying not to break a sweat. It might be just doing some stretches because I feel like tight in some places, but also it's going to be a nap. Like that is what I need to do, right? And so it is totally okay to take some time off when you're tired. But if you feel like that's a continuous roadblock for you, then you need to ask yourself, am I getting enough sleep? And am I eating in such a way that, and living my life in such a way that I have the energy? And energy is not just about food. Energy is about so much more. And just finished reading an amazing book by Dr. Amy Shaw, I think it is, on why am I so effing tired? And it just really highlighted a lot of things that I already know and teach around energy. But I loved the last chapter where she did talk about, yes, your nutrition, yes, when you eat is important, yes, how you move, but also there's other things in your daily life that are zapping your energy. Maybe it's social media, maybe you're saying yes to too many things. And so energy is not just a physical thing that can happen. It can happen from just being emotionally and mentally stretched. Okay. Next roadblock, getting started and knowledge. Like, how do I even get started? So maybe you're like, you haven't consistently exercised in a while, or you need to, but you just don't even know what to do, what exercises to do, what's the right ones to do, what program to do. And I say the biggest thing is to start with what you know. Like, that's the biggest solution. And that may be like, that you can walk. Right? Maybe walking is it for you. Or if you have some knee problems or joint issues, maybe, elliptical or swimming. Like, just start with what you know and doesn't hurt you or anything like that, and start for 5 to 10 minutes, a few times a week. And then, of course, I think, yes, talking with a professional or buying a couple sessions from someone, or, of course, talking with me and just figuring out other ways, things to add on once you're consistent with what you know. But I think being consistent with what you know then will allow you a foundation to add on other exercises, okay? And that goes with the knowledge, right? I'm not even sure what exercises to do. And I say, like, definitely talking to a fitness professional a health professional about different types of exercises that you can do that are safe for you and your body. And maybe even if you're in person with someone, just like having them lead you through how to do those. But again, there's a tons of resources online. I actually have some very basic cardio based, but also body weight strength training programs that 30-day ones that I offer to my clients that are just kind of simple, can kind of get you started. Cost. Maybe you feel like a gym or a fitness program costs too much money. Honestly, you are fooling yourself. Like, you're just fooling yourself. One, there are a lot of affordable ways to get an exercise and a lot of programs. But two, you really need to ask yourself, is it worth the investment? Because I'm promising you, and I probably know you're probably spending money on other things that you think is worth the investment. You're just telling yourself an exercise program isn't. Let me be honest, if you do an in-person unlimited edition of a CrossFit membership, it is quite a bit per month. But the amount of coaching you get, access to equipment, amount of classes, and amount of complete programming, it's worth it if that is worth the investment to you. Now, Street Partner, what I do is very affordable per month, or even very affordable per year. There's tons of free YouTube videos. There's tons of ways to make it affordable. And so this is just something you need to ask yourself, okay, am I just making an excuse for myself, or are there affordable options? And is it worth the investment if the one I really want to do it's kind of quote unquote out of my price range? And this is something that I think is very important for you, not just in your fitness program, but in your health and life in general. Okay. I do premium one-on-one coaching. That's the main, and then obviously I have a group coaching program coming up, but I've done memberships before. I've done a lot of different things, but I've always ended up coming back to one-on-one. And the reason why is because the one-on-one support that you get, or let's just say the one-on-one support, which is more expensive than not one-on-one support. I'm very high touch. So I'm very present in your session, present in really guiding you during session, but out of session in the unlimited support you get, right? And so I charge a little bit more for that because you're getting my time. Now, but every single person who has done one-on-one coaching with me has experienced an immense benefit that a lot of times non-one-on-one programs did not give them. Now, do I think non-one-on-one programs are effective? Yes. I'm in a fitness program that's not one-on-one currently. I mean, I can reach out to a coach. So I just think it's really about you asking yourself, this is an overarching question. Are you willing to invest in your health financially? Not just time, not just resources, but financially, because I promise you, you're investing in other places. Now, yes, money may be tight, but are you willing to make a way for that? Okay. Another one might be no childcare. Okay, I have kids now, so I can talk about this. There's no one to watch my kids. Maybe you're in a season of life where you have young kids, you don't know how you can, comfortable leaving them alone. Honestly, is there someone that could watch your kids for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a couple times a week? Can you do it during nap time? Can you work out when they're asleep? Can you, you just have to I just had to tell my own self that this is a priority to me. I'm going to do it even if it's 10 minutes. And I've done a lot of 10, 12, 15 minute or 16 minute workouts in the last year. And they are effective, right? They're we call micro workouts, right? So we can fit in fitness. I love Stacey Stills. If you've ever been in a summit with her or listened to her on my podcast, where she's talking about fitness 5 minutes at a time. We can fit in fitness. You can be brushing your teeth, squatting. You can it's just it's something that even as I actually working on a book, I've had to tell myself I don't have time to write. I have time to write. I just need to be okay that it's not huge increments. I need to be okay with 15 minutes here. I need to be okay with 30-minute slots. I need to be okay with 10 5-minute slots. Because every word I write is progress, and every movement you do is progress, or every minute you take is progress, right? So you got to really challenge a lot of these are limiting beliefs. You really got to challenge your limiting belief around not having enough time, not having anyone to watch your kids, and just asking yourself, I think often when it comes to a limiting belief, you already decided something, so you don't see another way. And so, recently, I just hired a nanny to watch Nima a few times a week because I'm just coming in. She's just coming in a stage where she's very active and all that. And I just need uninterrupted hours when I'm going to work. And at first I was like, I don't have the money for that. Is that okay? Do I trust people? All this sort of stuff. But I had to do deeper work around that, some beliefs around that. And then I had to make room in my budget for that. Right. And so I think it's okay if we have limiting beliefs that are holding us back, because they may be valid and they may have served and protected us for a time, but are they doing that anymore? And if not, we really need to fight that. So as you could probably see, that I am all about helping you with habits, but mindset is also key. And then the next one, let's talk about previous injury or safety modifications. How do I modify or alter the workouts for if I have an injury, or if I'm just getting started, or if I'm feeling sore in one area, then I really don't want to, do things. And I have experience with this. Trust me, I've had tendonitis, carpal tunnel in one or both my wrists. I've been pregnant, postpartum, healing. I just have learned the art of modification and the importance of movement, even if it's not fully what I originally want to do, but it's safe. And so I think the way around this is definitely, it's okay to reach out to a professional here, or to do some research and to test things and see, like walking might be too much on your knees right now because you have some really issues. Or if you are having some wrist issues, you don't want to do anything that puts pressure on your wrist, right? So maybe you do other things. And so I definitely think this is the time where you do want to speak to someone, even if it's once, to really get some advice here, okay? And then maybe you feel self-conscious. Maybe you feel working out in public or next to others in gym, you just feel self-conscious. I have felt this way, and I feel this way at different times. In a society that values body image and looks, it's hard to feel accepted in certain areas or spaces. Then you add to it your own feelings of like not knowing what to do, or you feel like you're not able to do what you used to do. It becomes even harder emotionally. I think here, again, it's the mindset work, right? You need to, one, let go of what others think of you. And if they actually, honestly, if they have an issue with you, they have an issue with themselves. If people don't, like, honestly, if people are like, your thighs jiggle or whatever, which some people might say, they just really have a warped view of their own body that they're projecting on you. My goodness. So we need to stop really like letting others' thoughts of us or what we believe they're thinking of us steal our joy, because most of the time people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. But two, we also need to build up our confidence. And that may mean, like, again, it might mean you getting some help on what to do in the gym. It might mean just affirming yourself every time you go into the gym or go into a workout environment, or people might see you as you work out. Like, you are doing something good for yourself, and you just need to continue to affirm that and really speak that over yourself, okay? And then maybe this is the last one we'll talk about, others' needs above your own. Maybe you're putting others' needs above your own. You're like, I would love to exercise, but I would take care of my family, my kids, my work and community. If, as women, we are natural caregivers and takers. We love to see people taken care of and often do so at the sacrifice of ourselves. It is a beautiful quality that even men admire about us, but often it can lead to extreme burnout and other health-related issues. And so the solution here is to block out your time to exercise as sacred, just as you would a work meeting, just as you would your kids' swimming lessons. You need to, like, again, even if it's 10 minutes, saying like, this is mommy's time. You just need to do it. And I'm not even just going to say do it because you'll show up better for your family. Do it because you deserve it. Do it because your health deserves it. Do it because you're worth it. Do it because your health needs it, right? You need to just see that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is not. It is selfless. Like, it's something you need to do. And now if you're like if my daughter is like breaking down because something happens, like, I'm going to be like, hold on, I got to work out. Like, no, that's like something happening in particular. But sometimes I might just adjust it and work out later, or I might say, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to pick back up tomorrow. So where have you been putting other needs above your own, and how's that going for you? We really want to challenge that. Okay. So today what did we cover? We covered what is your why for wanting to exercise? And I listed some benefits of exercise for you. Then I wanted you to identify what's holding you back. I mentioned 10 different roadblocks. I didn't say them in order, but cost, getting started, time, putting other needs above your own, feeling too self-conscious, fear of not being able to stick with it, not knowing what to do with exercise or access to equipment, motivation, feeling too tired, previous injury, safe modifications. And then I asked you to identify your best step. And I gave you solutions for each of those areas, but come up with your own, okay? So I would love for you, if you've listened or watched to this, to somehow let me know what's your why for wanting to exercise, what's holding you back, and what's your next best step for going forward. And if you aren't quite sure, or you want support in deciding that, or you want accountability because you don't want just a one-time fix, you really want to create a workout routine that is sustainable over the long haul that you're being held accountable with, I would love to do that for you. This is something I love to help clients with. And I don't talk about how much I love to help clients with exercise enough. That's why, over the summer, as I'm focusing on one particular theme per week, because I'm like, oh my goodness, let me bring back some of this in this conversation. And I will talk a little bit more about movement, and I have some amazing podcast episodes with some amazing guests lined up for August on this. But I have just seen so many clients believe, one, I don't move enough. Then really we start tracking their movement, and they're moving tons, and they're getting tons of steps. But then also I've helped them with their mindset around it, saying like, okay, well, I'm someone who walks daily. Like just them telling, I'm someone who walks daily. So like affirming that that's who I am. So I'm going to walk daily, right? And then also creating a routine, creating a schedule and all that. So if exercise, among other healthy habits and other mindset stuff that you need support around, I would love for you to book a clarity call with me. This is a complimentary call where we can just chat through where you're at, where you want to be in exercise or any other area of health, and how one of my programs can really help support you in that. One of my More Than Your Weight programs and mentorships, okay? So again, it's a complimentary call. There's no strings attached to this call. It's just helping you get clear on what's your next best step and how I can or cannot, I think I can help you in that journey. So book a call this summer. I have, I'm pulled back a little bit from, I have calls, spaces opened once a week on Thursdays. And so you can go ahead and book a time. And even if Thursdays don't work for you, you don't see a time that works for you, I'm flexible. Just reach out to me. Let's get a time to chat. And we can just talk on the phone and really help you get clear. So go to madewell345.com/clarity, or even if you're listening to this, it is in summer, still book a call. I'm always doing clarity calls because I always want to help people get clear on what they need to move forward and how I can uniquely support them. Okay. So that's it for me. I would love to again hear from you of these 3 steps, identifying your answers to these 3 steps. Identify why you want to exercise, what's holding you back. So identify your benefit, the benefit of exercise, and that's going to be your why. What roadblocks are holding you back? I mentioned 10, and identify your next best step. I mentioned solutions for each of those. But again, it could be something that you just, you simply want to come up with on your own. And trust me, as someone who went from walking, I don't know, when did I start exercising consistently? June 2013, my goodness, 8 years ago. That's when I really was like had breakthrough in my health journey, to running a 10K, to lifting 150 pounds on a barbell, to doing strict push-ups, strict pull-ups, Olympic weightlifting, to then learning how to move and modify for pregnancy and postpartum, and to then now kind of getting back to some strength and exercises I was able to do. I know what I'm talking about and I want to help you in your movement. Okay, so book that clarity call. I would love to support you. All right, that is it from me. I am going to head out. Let me know if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay or listening to it, and would love to chat with you on a call. Okay, bye.